Hi, I am Monique Ritterbeck. I live in Cottontown, and I'm here today because I have a toddler now, and we love going to all the different libraries, and recently have enjoyed going to the Gallatin Library. There's a great coffee shop down the corner. It's fantastic. But, I need to share something that was quite disturbing for me about the infamous LGBTQ plus tree, the way that the people that gave the tree or sponsored the tree, they called it the tree, they said the tree supports your chosen sexuality. So I just want to remind us of what the word sexuality means. Sexual character, possession of the structural and functional traits of sex, recognition or emphasis upon sexual matters, involvement in a sexual activity or an organism's preparedness for engaging in sexual activity. Okay, so that's like the sex word. Supposedly this tree supports that. And I just want to remind us all that when we started off this meeting today, we put our hands over our heart and we pledged to the flag, and we said, one nation under God. And so what I want to say is that I have every right to have the expectation that when I walk into the public library with my toddler, that he is not going to be put before him a tree that supports sex, and whatever sex you want to have with whatever, okay? I can't even believe that I couldn't just even enjoy my Christmas season without having to deal with that nonsense. I left California for that. And I wanted to speak to the people of Sumner County, probably the ones who are not in this room, but if you do not wake up and pay attention to what is happening in your backyard, you're gonna have to, where are we going to go, you guys? Tennessee's awesome. Okay, I left California. There's not a whole lot of places to go anymore, okay? I just want to say, just one more comment about the tree supports your chosen sexuality. One of the most cowardly ways to put it, the tree supports your sexuality, whatever. What's actually happening, the leadership here, the library board, you are the ones supporting your chosen sexuality. So I really want you to just think about those toddlers. If I can't even trust the tree, how am I going to take my kid to preschool story time and trust they're not going to be teaching them something weird about sex? That's my job, to teach them about how to be a godly man and a godly husband. So, I just please back off. And God bless you.
November the 18th, for Mr. Stockton, most of us, I knew I did, received 47 emails in the affirmative and 4 against him. All those who were for him were conservative Republicans. 4 were pastors, and 1 was a local children's author. Of the 4, all were liberal Democrats, progressives, voting record. January 27th, for today, by my count, from my emails, I've received 114 emails for Mr. Stockton and Mr. Ray in the affirmative, and only 25 against. And all those forum, conservative Christian Republicans, all but 1 that I could find of the 25 against him were liberal progressive Democrats. 7 that wrote in were pastors of churches, 7. 1 was actually Riley Gaines, Station Camp High School, nationally syndicated speaker now, very popular on Fox News, has the ear of President Trump, came and spoke and read a children's book at our Hendersonville Library. And, that has a lot of weight. And when you want to talk about a majority and listening to the citizens' voices, 114 to 25, 47 to 4 of people in Sumner County saying these people represent our values. We have had an election in this nation on values. And this nation has flatly rejected the insanity of leftism, of saying there's more than two genders. President Trump has an executive order saying only two genders in the federal government. Our libraries don't say that. Taxpayer funded. So people are tired of the insanity. Let's talk about qualifications. You know, Commissioner Hinton, when I first got elected in 18, he told me, he said, you know what, Commissioner Mansfield? He said, you can get anybody elected as a commissioner. You can get a prisoner elected. All you need is enough votes. You know, you can get anybody on a board with enough votes. Take 13 votes. We're going to talk about qualifications. My constituent friend, Pete Hegseth, said he was unqualified to be the Secretary of Defense. Unqualified. But you know why he was unqualified for the leftists? Because he was not woke. He was a warfighter. These men are qualified, according to our citizens, our constituents, these people who wrote in, because they're warfighters and they're not woke. People are tired of it. I shared last 2 months ago, a quote from the old issue of the Sumner County News, copied in A Short History of Sumner County, 1786 to 1957. It states, certainly there's no better gauge of a community's sense of values in both intellect and spirit than the gauge its library offers. So I ask, as a reflection of Sumner County's community standards and values, what do a majority of citizens consider these values to be? Is it a pride tree teaching sex to kids, sexuality in libraries? No. Is it men who dress up as women and use the public restroom in public libraries in Sumner County? Does that represent our values? No, and it happens. It's happened in a Sumner County library. A librarian reached out to me about it, complained about it, tendered a resignation, and was removed earlier than her resignation, being tendered over a man in a dress going into a women's restroom in a Sumner County public library. Does that represent our values? No. Do potential drag queen story hour events at public libraries represent Sumner County's values? No, they do not. Do men who dress up as women as drag queens and dance in front of children and throw money at them like happens at churches here in Sumner County, does that represent Sumner County's values? No. But the groups who complain about these candidates not being qualified are the same groups who approve of men dressing up as women and dancing in front of small children for dollars being thrown at them. These are those people who complain about these processes or who's qualified. But the qualification is, these are people who are passionate about their community. They live here, they work here, they worship here, they play here, they teach here, they educate their kids here. These are people in our community who are representational of a majority of Sumner County's values. This is not California. If you want crazy, go to California, not Sumner County. Life isn't fair. 114 people for these two men, 25 against them. There should be 13 or more votes for these guys today. Call it a day. Get the insanity out of our libraries. There's nothing wrong with the policies. What's wrong is anybody who tries to compare protecting kids from graphic, explicit sexual reading materials to their First Amendment privileges that they have a right to, as an adult, to have that. Well, it's a public library. It's taxpayer dollars. You don't have that right, in my opinion. It's my dollars. I don't want that used for that stuff, for minors. You can put an adult section. Put it in a private bookstore. You can put an adult section. But we're talking about protecting kids from minors. There's been all this stuff. And the people who say the most awful, just vile, defamatory things about conservative Christian people who want to protect kids has been unconscionable. The stuff that we get in our inboxes, the stuff that's said on social media. It's shameful. This is not Los Angeles County or Davidson County or Shelby County or Hamilton County or Knox County. It feels like it lately. But I just think it's ridiculous that we're even having these conversations. But people are tired of the insanity. They're tired of the crazy. They're tired of the woke. They want war fighters who are men and women who are going to stand and protect our kids and stand before God one day and say that they did their best to protect kids from the unconscionable. I had a girl tell me when she was a teen, 13 years old, checked out in one of our public libraries, accidentally, a book. And what she was exposed to, it seemed innocent, innocuous. What she was exposed to in that book traumatized her, went and told her parents, went and had to get pastoral counseling because of the sexually graphic, explicit stuff in a book targeted towards children that was not age appropriate and suitable in a public library. That's the kind of crap we were trying to get out of our libraries. It shouldn't be there, public or school, a public library or a school library. It shouldn't be available to minors, period, especially with my tax dollars, my constituents' tax dollars. These people's tax dollars who wrote in and expressed 114 of them, 7 being pastors, 1 being Riley Gaines, who stands against all this woke culture crap. And then 25 people complained, all of them being woke liberals who just were rejected on a national level with all of those policies and insanity. So I'm asking you guys to vote for these guys tonight. This will, I think, if I'm not mistaken, fill out the library board and be done with this. And so we have to quit doing this every month. Put whoever you want to on that next year when people come up. But I'm in favor of this, and I think we need to vote this through. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Short, sweet. We have an opportunity to be representatives of the people. If we wonder how the people feel, because there's always the question, how do the people feel? We just had an election like 2 months ago, and President Trump won by about 70% in this county. We just had a commissioner say that he wants them to have a belief in God. Well, I want them to have a belief in Jesus, but the thing is we have an opportunity to actually vote the will of the people or not. Because those 2 men came up, and the only 2 things I heard them say, only one thing I heard them say, the one clear point is that they would stand in the way of any agenda that was not about just reading books. They're just going to stand in the way of the things that President Trump got elected on by the people of Sumner County, whom we represent. I love every one of y'all, but we shouldn't have one negative vote against these 2 men. And I heard them. Families came and spoke. We have heard countless people. And also, the good commissioner beside me was speaking, but there were countless deacons. There's countless people I go to coffee with, all these people that they've never emailed me in their life. And they said, please vote these 2 men in. It's all they want. So it's a no-brainer. It literally, the writing's on the wall, the writing's on the ballot 2 months ago. And we must represent the people, or we must all get out of the way and let some of them serve. That's all I'm saying, myself included, if I don't represent them.
I've talked with Mr. Stockton several times, and he believes the way I believe, and I think the citizens have made it very clear how they want us to vote. I don't know Mr. Ray, but I understand that the 2 are kind of cut from the same cloth as far as their belief system. His son spoke really well about him. He made me put my phone down to listen to him. So he seemed like a really good kid and energetic. I love his spirit. But it seems like Mr. Ray's raised a fine young man. I hear a lot of people saying that we've got enough commissioners that think the conservative way. It's time we give some other people a voice. I don't understand that logic. The majority, the overwhelming majority of us that sit up here claim to be conservatives, and we have a directive to make our libraries reflect our community. If you cannot listen to the way someone who thinks opposite of you talks to you and hear their heart, then you've got a heart condition you need to work on, because we're all supposed to listen to all of our constituents. I can talk to anybody as long as they don't yell at me. Sit down and talk to them, understand their issues, and then consider their issues. And then guess what? If you are what you say you are, you're probably still going to vote conservative, but you're going to hear their heart. They may sway you, or you may find a way to compromise something to make them a little bit happy, but putting people out there that you know are going to vote opposite of your beliefs, that is reckless. That is very reckless. One more thing that I'll say is we had a room full of people here tonight And a lot was talked about with regards to the different parts of the county. I hope the commissioners that serve the northern part of the county were listening, because we had a huge percentage of the northern part of the county here. And did you hear the applause when Monique, the first speaker, got done speaking about the Pride Christmas tree? I think that was a resounding opinion of how the northern part of the county feels. And then looking at the comparison of the emails, I know exactly how I'm going to vote. I'm not going to disappoint my constituents. I'm not going to disappoint 75% of Sumner County with my vote. I know how they want to be, but I'm also going to listen to the other side when they come talk to me about issues. And I'm going to try to find a way that we can find any middle ground without compromising my principles. But I will vote conservative. I will vote to support these two men.
I would like to say something about what Mr. Becker, I don't know what district's in, so I'm going to have to call him by his name, Mr. Becker. So Mr. Becker had indicated he would like to see certain things when people are nominated to the board. And, you know, as you look at what these folks have done, you know, they own businesses. One of them's a financial advisor with lots of knowledge in finances, which sounds like Hendersonville needs a little help with that. And then the other one owns a business, a millionaire, self-made millionaire. You know, when you own your own business, you're your HR guy. I know that. My husband owned a business. You have HR experience because you have to deal with employees. We do have some boards that could use an HR person on it. But these people are qualified. They have the experience. They have the life experience for what we're looking at. I mean, we have haggled over this for months. And last month, somebody brought, I don't know who it was, brought up the other guy, didn't know who he was from Adam's House Cat. And, you know, I watched the library board meeting last month, and I had a concern about the fact that they had two books they were talking about. They were talking about them, and they didn't like it because it was sexually explicit, some of it. And they had all voted no, that wasn't what they wanted. Well, about several minutes into the meeting, that gentleman decided he wanted to challenge it and said, what about the Bible? Well, what about the Bible? Well, verse 38.6 in Genesis. But that man couldn't even tell you what was in it. He couldn't say it. All he could do was throw his pen down and throw the numbers out there. Well, I got news for you. Protecting children, and it's not just protecting the child, it's the mind of the child. Because you don't realize what the mind of the child is going to absorb and the damage this will cause years later. What I'm saying is I understand what Mr. Becker's saying, but I also understand that these people have life experience. I taught at the University of Phoenix, and I had students in my classes that had life experiences in different things. And they were getting educated to get master's degrees in business, all kinds of things. But they used that knowledge to work, on their skill set to do what they were doing. So we're talking about a multitude of skill sets with these two gentlemen. And the number one thing, and a hill that I will die on, from my military experience, we pick battles and we pick wars. But this is a hill that I will die on, is to protect the mind of the child. And these two men have said that they will protect the mind of the child. Regardless of what everybody wants in the light, you know, you want dirty books, fine. Put them in the dirty book section. Go back there. But this is important. Like he said, he wants people that have certain skill sets. They might need this or might, but it sounds to me like they need some financial folks, and they also need somebody, like he said, with HR. And both of these candidates have that experience. It may not say HR in their head, but that's what they've been doing all these years. So I don't understand why there's a problem here, but I'm voting for them. I'm one vote, but I'm voting for them. But I want you to think about that when you vote. What is it, the number one thing that you are voting on? Is it somebody has a little bit of HR experience? Is it somebody that knows how to tell you how to balance your checkbook? Or is the number one thing that you want to vote on is protecting the mind of a child? And I don't care how many people are on a committee, regardless, it should be 100% and not 70%. That's what you should be looking for. And I will sit down. Thank you.
The young lady, the citizen that got up here and spoke about her child, her toddler, she was from California, folks. She said something that hit me to the core. There ain't a whole lot of places to go. Let's not let these folks down. Okay? If they want to bring their conservative values to Sumner County, let's open our arms to them. Welcome them. California will take people. I don't know if you want to go, but they'll take you.